Hey there, E here from eEats and Healthy Treats with the final day of my 40 days of summer with a new salad each day. Today, to welcome fall, I have a squash salad featuring green leaf lettuce, butternut squash, golden nugget squash, apple, and pecans with a creamy cinnamon dressing. Let's get into it. Starting with the golden nugget squash, I'll cut it in half, just offset from the stem. Golden nugget squash were cultivated to be a substitute for sweet potatoes in areas where growing seasons were short. I'll go ahead and remove the seeds with a spoon. Then, using a vegetable peeler, I'll peel the skin. Since the skin is tough, having it cut in half allows me to keep it stable on the cutting board, and for the edges, it allows me to hold on to it while keeping my fingers out of the way. I'll go ahead and cut off the stem section, and then we'll cut it into 1/2-inch slices. To the slices, I will cut them in 1/2 to 1-inch sections. Then place them into a bowl. Moving on to the butternut squash, I'll cut off the ends. And this one is a little bit easier to cut than the other squash. Then slice it in half long ways. And remove the seeds. Once again, using my vegetable peeler, I'll go ahead and remove the skin. For these, I'll cut them a little larger as they have a little more meat to the squash. So about 1-inch to 1/2-inch or 1.5-inch slices. Then I'll cube those as best I can and put them into the bowl with the golden nugget. To the squash bowl, I'll add a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of oil and sprinkle on some garlic salt, about 1/4 teaspoon. Then mix them with my hand to coat the squash. I'll dump those out onto a 1/2 sheet pan and spread them out somewhat evenly. Then pop them into a 450-degree preheated oven and roast for 20 minutes. For the pecans, I'll dump them out on the cutting board and roughly chop them. I'll place those back into the ramekin and move on to the apple. I'll slice it in half and then quarter them. Taking my paring knife, I'll go ahead and remove the cores from each quarter. Then I'm going to cut these on the short end in about 1/4 inch slices. Onto the dressing, I'll add the olive oil to a mixing bowl, followed by the heavy whipping cream. And then I'll go ahead and measure out the white wine vinegar. Please note that the recipe is down in the description. And then dump that in. Then I'll pour in about a half of a tablespoon of maple syrup. Lastly, I'll add in the cinnamon, clove, and ginger. Give that a good whisk until combined. I'll take a test here. Perfect. The squash is done. It is easily poked with a fork. I'll go ahead and transfer it to a bowl. Let's go ahead and dish this up. I'm using a fall plate to go with today's salad's theme. To it, I'll add the green leaf lettuce after ripping it up into pieces. Then add some apple slices. Followed by the squash. And toss on some pecans. Lastly, I'll spoon on some of the creamy cinnamon dressing. On to the taste test. A nice welcome to fall. The freshness of the lettuce with the roasted squash was nice. The crisp apple gave texture along with the pecans, and the creamy cinnamon dressing paired very nicely, giving it a true fall feel. Now that these 40 days are up, I'll be moving on to some other dishes and get on a weekly or bi-weekly schedule. I hope you'll stick around. Until later, be blessed and act with love. Enjoy!